Welcome back. Welcome back. We are back, people. Back for another episode of who knows when this will come out. But I am glad to finally be able to record again. While I'm in the process of, shaping everything up, making sure everything falls into place. In the meantime, though, I've been posting a lot of shorts. So if you guys haven't seen a bunch of them already, please do so. Yeah, because there's a lot. There's a lot of shorts that I've been posting lately based on all the video games that I've been playing. And most of them are Ghosts of Yotei. A little bit of Final Fantasy Tactics, Resident Evil. We're finally done with that game, which is going to be the topic of today's discussion, is Requiem, baby. And let me start with this, okay? Because I just want to start with the obvious. Wow, what a game, okay? Wow, what a freaking game. Like, talk about a fantastic game. It's, I think, one of the best Resident Evil games that I've ever played, next to, and I'm sorry if this is controversial, but next to Resident Evil 5, in my opinion. Because Resident Evil 5 is my favorite, but wow, Requiem is a banger. I mean, where do I start? From two different sides of the same coin, this being Grace Ashcroft, and of course our boy Leon Kennedy is back, baby. He's back and he's aged wonderfully. Not gonna lie, hey, I don't go that way, but Leon Kennedy, he got the looks. He got the looks, y'all. So this game is, I don't know if it's a conclusion to the overall arch of, the whole Virus franchise, but this game starts with Grace Ashcroft, and she works for the FBI. She's being sent out by her director to go check out, some mysterious occurrences happening at a hotel. So she goes, and mind you, she's like a little skittish when it comes to like how she handles herself, which is like, why would they put her to investigate when like the whole game she's like why am I here? Why am I here? Which is awesome, by the way, because the portrayal of fear through her is top notch. But it just makes you wonder a little bit, like, why couldn't the director be like, hey, let's make sure we send a team in, or like, let's make sure we send this guy in that he has experience out in the field. For whatever reason they got to put her to work, which I get it. Why have her do your paperwork if it's not gonna be ready, if it's gonna be ready, but then you still want to send her out, and for whatever reason. So she goes to this hotel, and it's crazy because even the director knows that her mother passed away there. So she goes there and she has a flashback of what happened, which it all starts with this hooded figure, this hooded man. And when she's in the hotel with her mother hides away some kind of documents. And it's crazy because it goes from this calm ambiance of like, oh no, like there's something going on here, we gotta go, hurry, let's have this paperwork, this and that. So like all of a sudden this hooded man just bam, just chops her in the freaking neck and kills her mom in front of her. To where through that it's like, okay, first of all, she's like bothered for life. Okay, we can start with that. She's bothered for life. And then like, wouldn't that be conflict of interest by sending her into the same place where her mother got killed? I'm just saying through a legal standpoint in that type of work, in federal work and whatnot. So they send her in, and she goes into this hotel. She's looking around, and then she remembers, oh man, my mom put this thing away. So she looks behind the portrait where her mother hid the documents away, and she starts like seeing like these things where she's like, wait a minute, like this could be related, like how are these things related to me, like what's going on here? Then she then goes like upstairs, finds like a bunch of photos of her on top of a bed, and of course all of a sudden there's somebody there, there's somebody in the building with her. She then goes downstairs, and that's when like the shit hits the fan, okay? That's when all of a sudden the cop is like, oh, like, I don't feel good. You know, there's something wrong with me, this and that. And then she's like, okay, then, dude, aren't you a cop? Like, call for backup, you know, call for help, this and that. And he's like, I'm a zombie now. Oh, wow, Supra, hey. And then she's like, hey, you know, the cop is like, I'm a zombie now. So he's like, oh, and he starts going after her. I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the scariest part in the whole entire game, y'all. Like, well, no, that's the second scariest, because the feeling that you have when you're pretty much like helpless, like it already introduces the fact that you don't have much ammo, you don't have much equipment, you don't have a knife, all you have is a gun. And of course when you try to go shoot the zombie, he like hits it out of your hand. So then you're like, oh wow, I'm completely helpless. And then you get stuck as well, so you try to escape from that. Then he then freaking bites you, which right away I was like, dude, it's over for me. Like, I'm gonna die. Like, I'm automatically going to die and turn into a zombie. But somehow you get away, you go upstairs, you lock yourself in a room, realize that you got bit, but nothing happens to her, which I do find a little strange, because I thought in the Resident Evil games, whenever you got bit, you would automatically turn. But I guess for some reason in this universe, like, you don't get turned at all. So that's okay. She then goes upstairs, and we finally get to meet the villain of the story, which is Dr. Gideon. And oh my god, if there's an antagonist in a video game, this guy takes it 100%. Like, the acting is top notch. Like, the way he talks, I freaking love how he talks, because he almost talks like Joker. Like not the original Joker, but if you check it out, you'll know exactly what I mean. But he speaks like Joker, which I'm like, dude, this is the best freaking antagonist a video game has ever had. And like the way he carries himself is like, right away you know he's a bad guy, but he's just calm. Like, Grace, nice to meet you, Grace. And you're like, dude, get the hell away from me, okay? I don't want nothing to do with you. So I just love how he carries himself. And all of a sudden, boom, we flash to Leon, which of course he got to drive that Porsche. You know, you can't have Leon come back without him driving a nice freaking Porsche. So he comes around and he's investigating the scene. He gets a distress signal that there's apparently something going on in that same hotel. So then he goes there, he freaking sees Dr. Gideon, which I do find a little strange. He finds Dr. Gideon carrying Grace after he knocked her out in like the plain daylight, in the middle of the city, in front of everybody. And like, nobody even says anything right away except the one person that does say something, and then he injects them. And also like a bunch of people around with like this syringe that apparently turns them into zombies right away. So they're like T-virus bullets. Oh, that's a nice curve. And yeah, so he turns them right away, and then boom, the game starts with Leon. And you know how that game goes. If you've played Resident Evil 4, oh, he's shooting heads off, kicking ass, freaking drop kicking people. And of course we got the hatchet. So the hatchet, oh man, like when you take zombies down and they fall to their knees, and then you take that hatchet and you do that final melee attack, their heads will blow, which is freaking amazing. So you keep proceeding forward, you get to the hotel, you're like, okay, you know, she's not here anymore, we're gonna have to follow what's going on. And the game takes you through different settings. So just to speed it up here a little bit, eventually you get some news that it's not really at the hotel, but it's at the there's a clinic. So you got to go to a clinic because apparently that's where Dr. Gideon has been working from, and like the T-virus has been coming out of. So you get to the clinic, and this is as because Grace's part in the clinic is huge, because there's a lot of different aspects to it. But real quick for Leon, when he goes to the clinic, he finds out that there's really nothing there. He has to move on to the next area, which that's where it's a little confusing, because I feel like there's two different clinics. But in this one, like, so he goes on, and they're like, oh no, there's nobody here. And then apparently like phase 1 starts. A bunch of zombies come out. We finally get introduced to the chainsaw zombie, which it's freaking awesome, because we can knock the chainsaw out of his hand, grab it, and then just start cutting people away. So then we do so, and then the craziest part of all is that after we finish this part, we go back to Grace, which it goes into the overall I want to say the main clinic. And it's not really a clinic, because it's kind of like, it's kind of a little bit of everything. It's there's a house, and then it's like a clinic area, and then you have like a kitchen area. It's everywhere. Okay, so we're just gonna call this the big mansion. So, and this part of the game is very long, once again, because of the fact that Grace has to traverse through this whole entire setting to be able to get to through 3 keys. So you need 3 different keys to be, oh nice, Supra. Yeah, so you need to get through 3 different keys to get through the door, so that you can finally go outside and get out of there. But as you go through this, you get introduced to 3 different characters that are like major bad zombies. And one of them is like the chef. The other one is, I want to say it's called the Fat Man, or like the Blob or something like that. And then you get introduced, of course, in the very beginning to the girl. And I'm gonna tell you what, I get scared easily, and I'm not afraid to say it, but dude, when you get introduced to the girl at first, which is like you find a zombie that's already been dead, and then all of a sudden you see that there's a giant hand just come and grab, you know, and it just like grabs the freaking like zombie, bites his head off. You're like, dude, what the heck is going on? Because then all of a sudden you have to like run away from it. And that was I want to say at the very start of the game, because I've already said this, you don't have anything, you don't have weapons, you don't have ammo, you don't have anything. So at the very start of the game, you have to just run away from this thing, and it hates the light, but there's no light anywhere, so you're like freaking stuck. You're like having to like constantly run away from this thing, and any little sound you make, it just knows where you are. Oh, and did I forget to mention that it travels through like, I don't know, some kind of like huge crawl space on top of the room. So like once you think you're away from it, it just like drops down from the ceiling, and then it just like comes for you again, which is insane. Like, it is insane. And so you finally get through the girl, and then you finally get through in the process of being able to get the 3 keys to get out of there. Actually, let me keep going straight. Yeah, in the process of getting the 3 keys, you meet this girl, and her name is Emily. And Emily, apparently she's been like locked in this like holding cell, which I'm not gonna lie, but it almost resembles to me that Emily, like, because she's blind, and like the girl is also blind, and Emily's hair is white and the girl's hair is also white. I want to say that's her sister, okay? So they've been holding these freaking experiments in which, when you kind of put the puzzle pieces together, you get to realize that the girl is kind of like a failed experiment that's like fully transformed. And so you take Emily with you because there's a part where you need her to read Braille to unlock this puzzle. And the craziest thing of all is you finally solve the puzzle, you get all the 3 pieces, you get yourself outside, which I just spared you like hours and hours and hours of having to go through that building. And you get to outside, which you encounter a man with a helicopter, and I'm like, dude, this guy's been here the whole time. But he's like, oh, I have no fuel. You need to go inside this building and grab it. But my leg is messed up, so I can't really do anything about it. You then go inside this building. You go underground, okay? And there's where you get to find out more information about what the hell's going on. Which is, why am I turning so slow? That's crazy. That is crazy, guys. You get to then find out that there's apparently something going on where they're manufacturing the T virus. And, well, okay. So they kind of give you the obvious, which is like, yes, it's government funded. Like, they are creating zombies for the government and super weapons. But then, like, apparently there's like something going on in regards to like the main character. So Grace is like somehow part of it, but you don't entirely know. Like, you're still left in the limbo of like what's going on. So then you keep going on. You get your fuel, you go back upstairs, you get in the helicopter, and then boom. You get out of there, but then the helicopter gets overrun with like 50 million zombies. So then it goes down, it kills the pilot, because man, we just met the guy for like 10 minutes and then he's already dead. But Emily also gets hurt in the process. So she gets hurt. Leon finally gets to locate Grace, and he has to save her. Then they get slightly split off again. And then with Emily, you get to a part, how do I put this? You get to a part where like the girl finds Emily, and I'm trying to remember if this is, I want to say, okay, so this is before the whole helicopter scene, or no, this is after. So the girl takes Emily from you because, of course, that's where you kind of put 2 and 2 together, that the girl is related to Emily, that they are sisters. So she's recognizing the fact that it's like, hey, that's my sister, I'm a monster. Because this game has talking zombies, and the zombies kind of retain the last bit of memory they had before, I guess, they turned. So you have to go like underground, save Emily from the girl, which, oh my gosh, that's another creepy ass part. I'm gonna put clips of what I have, but man, what a freaking scary game. And then that's where we go ahead and we basically get to the second area of the game, which is finally escaping the girl. You seal Emily off away, okay? You seal her off away because you're gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna put my big girl pants on and I'm gonna fight the girl head on, which you do, and you finally defeat her. The problem is that when you open the doors back up to Emily, she apparently passed away due to her injuries from the helicopter, and unfortunately she turns. So she turns into like this creepy ass giant zombie. And then Leon finally shows up, meets up with Grace, like head on, like we're finally together for sure now. Shoots the zombie. Grace, it's like, no, that's Emily. Like, I'm trying to save her. Oh my God. And then she's like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm done with this game. Like, I'm out. I'm gonna go to the bad guys because I want to find out what the hell is going on. Which she then throws, because by the way, Leon gave her one of the most strongest guns in the game, and she gives it back. And the guns game, of course, is called Requiem, based after the game. Because I'm like, what the hell does the Requiem mean? Well, Requiem, guys, you know, it's this gun that apparently when it shoots, it's a freaking beast of a gun. Like, this thing like shoots and it one-shots anything. okay? It one-shots pretty much anything, which is amazing. So she then goes to the bad guys, which at first I thought it was Wesker, but the guy's name is Zeno. So he's apparently like a Wesker clone. Same powers, same voice, same everything. You know, they might as well copy the voice and you know, relive the Wesker. But he's yeah, he's Zeno. So he's not Wesker at all. He's just Zeno, guys. Okay, powerful gun, because there's a scene where he like shoots like these soldiers, and he like literally blows them like holes into them with this gun, which you're like, okay, I can't wait to fight this guy. And quick spoiler, yeah, he gets killed off. I won't explain why until later on, but you know, he gets killed off. You know, it's a little funny here, because there's been instances where like we could fight boss battles, but like some of the battle, or you know, what you consider a boss, it's almost optional in this game. Ooh, that was a dip. I hit myself in the groin. Ah! So going back to Grace, she goes off with the bad guys. They're like, okay, you're the key that we need. Like, you know, we're gonna unlock the key to the whole shebang, which I'll remember the name soon. But then going back to Leon, he's trying to go after her now. So he's like making his way to her. You have to go through familiar areas, which you then go through Raccoon City after the bombing, which you don't get to see after that. You know, after Resident Evil 2, the ending where it gets bombed, you then have to go through all that. So you're like, wow, to see the city after the bombing, like, it's crazy. Which you then find out that the bombing wasn't to eliminate the zombies infestation. It was literally to cover up something way more sinister. Like, it's way more sinister down there. Then after you go through the city, you have to go through this little area, which of course is the beginning of Resident Evil 2, and you go through the police station, which is very fast. It's a very fast, quick going through it. You encounter Nemesis, or not Nemesis, sorry. You encounter Tyrant, which is crazy to be able to see Tyrant, because that's the enemy that, I'm not gonna lie, but it made me quit Resident Evil 2. Like, I hate the feeling of an enemy that never dies and is constantly going after you. Like, it gives me chills to have to encounter enemies like that. So you don't need to ask. Hell no, I haven't played freaking Nemesis or Resident Evil 3, which I'm okay. But in this case, you have to finally go through him. You fight him, you beat him, and you're one step closer to getting to Grace. And of course, after this is my favorite part of the whole game. You go through a little moment where, I mean, this is in parts, okay? But before I forget this, you go through a motorcycle scene where you're riding motorcycles. You get to fight the dogs, which they come back, and it's crazy that you only get to fight the dogs during this. Like, you don't fight the dogs anywhere else in the whole game. You only fight them while they're chasing you on the motorcycle. You get to fight Gideon, Dr. Gideon head on, which is insane, having to fight him on a motorcycle. And by the way, he does stoppies, guys. I don't even know how to do stoppies, and this guy is doing like full stoppies, like shooting you with a rocket launcher on a motorcycle, which I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, you finally, you get closer and closer, and as you're at the police station, you learn through Grace that all these little girls, like Emily, and this scene that we played in it before, where we go through a little glimpse of like playing as the girl and having her with like a bunch of her sisters, which are all clones of Grace. They're trying to perfect Grace, so they're trying to make a version of Grace that is like the Holy Grail, to be able to use her for this thing that's it's like this ultimate weapon, and they're calling it Elpis. So you get to hear of this thing called Elpis, and you're like, Elpis is the answer, Elpis is the key, like with Elpis we're gonna have it all, okay? And you're like, okay, Elpis, we need Grace for that, but we don't have Grace, so we're gonna try to clone Grace and make you know, the key ourselves, which it keeps failing, and then through the part that you play as like little Grace, basically, you get to see her sisters turn into like these demonic freaking red-eyed figurines, which, oh my god, dude, they're so scary. Because you don't have weapons, of course, you're a little girl, so why would you have a weapon? And so you're like escaping them the whole time. But they're going through the hospital, like basically killing off all the staff, and you're like trying to get away from them the whole time. So, and just like Emily and her sister, you know, the one turns into the girl, the other one turns into this like crazy being. Yeah, they can't perfect it, so they can't figure out how to make an exact copy of Grace. So then Grace figures out, like, oh wow, like I'm being cloned. All these girls and this little girl that I just met was a clone of me. Like, there's something special about me. What the heck is it? What's going on? And honestly, like, it's something to where you get closer and closer to finally finding out what it is, and it's all based at the Ark, because when you play as the little Emily or little Grace, she's this location called the Ark, which is exactly what was being covered by the government in Raccoon City when they did the bombing. They actually left this facility underground that when you unlock it, it's like where they did all these clonings. And as you finally go in there, you learn that this is where like everything has been made at. So like the liquors, the tyrants, like every single zombie has a price tag. So it breaks down like how much each zombie costs. Like, ooh, we need fuel. Wait a minute. Yeah, we need some fuel. Yeah, we were about to keep going without getting fuel, guys. This is crazy. Wow, this is the first time I gotta fill up this tank. So yeah, everything has a price tag, and then we're learning like, oh wow, like this is all freaking like a numbers game. So it's like this wasn't all an accident at all. This was all on freaking purpose, which is insane that they would do this. Let me a little pause here real quick while I fill up. All right. Thank goodness we got the indicator right at a gas station too. That's crazy. So yeah, like I was saying, it's a numbers game. So it's all designed. It was all designed. Nothing was an accident at all. Like everything was designed on purpose to create these beings and creatures, and they knew exactly what they were making. At first, I always thought like, oh no, it was an accident. Like, you know, they made the liquors by accident. It's like, no, they knew what they were making, and they were making them on purpose. So when you get to the Ark, Grace is there, of course, because Zeno takes her there. And Gideon, you know, he's still somewhere because Leon kicked his ass on the motorcycle and he fell off a bridge. You know, you never mind that. But Leon gets there, which I didn't say this at all until now. Obviously, if you're watching, thank you so much. I appreciate you. But he's been affected by the T-virus. So the whole time he's been like fighting with like the T-virus. And when he gets to the Ark, that's when it's like really hitting him on. So it's like making him cough blood, and he's like about to pass out while he's fighting like 50 liquors at one time. And you also get to fight humans too, which is insane. The other thing is that Grace, when they go fight, because Leon and Grace meet up, Zeno like is about to kill Leon, but like, you know, Leon all of a sudden like shoots at a giant arm, a robotic arm. They fall, which I don't know how he predicted that they were going to survive, but they did. And that's when it's like his T-virus effects are really hitting him hard. And Grace is like, okay, look, we're gonna work together, we're gonna get through this, we gotta go back to the console. On the way there, she remembers how she got that package that her mother left behind, the portrait. And when she opens it, there was a floppy disk. And when she opens the floppy disk, she notices there's some videos there. And of course, it's videos of President Spencer, the guy that started this whole thing. And he's basically saying like he's tired of it all. Like he's tired of creating weapons of mass destruction, and he's tired of killing people, so he wants to change. And the mother that you think is of Grace is not really her mom, because she asks like, why did you bring me here then for an interview? And then he brings a baby, and he's like, oh, this is like my pride and joy now. Like, this is my atonement. And it's like, you want to hold the baby? Because he's about to, pass away. So he gives Grace's mother Grace, and she raises Grace. So she's not really her mom, and also she's a regular baby. There's nothing done to her at all. There's no DNA alterations. There's no viruses injected into her. She's just a regular baby. Which the bad guy doesn't know this, because they keep saying Elpis, Elpis, Elpis. We want Grace as the key to Elpis. But when you finally unlock Elpis, because she knows the password to the console, you take, Zeno takes the because there's like 6 syringes in there. And then when you finally open Elpis up, he gets one of the syringes, and then he injects himself. And he's then gonna go kill Leon, which Grace is like, wait, I thought we had a deal that you're not gonna hurt Leon as long as I gave you the password. He's like, yeah, well, I lied. And when he injects himself, he becomes normal. So like the whole virus leaves the body, and then you find out that Elpis is actually a cure for the virus. Which after 9 Resident Evil games, we finally get a cure, which is incredible. It's insane. Of course, Dr. Gideon finally comes back. He's missing an arm. And he kills Zeno. Because he's like, Zeno's like, oh, like, I spent a lot of money. And, like, I can't believe Elpis was the cure. Like, I'm normal. Ah! Dr. Gideon's like, dude, shut up. Cuts his head off. And he's like, I don't know. He's delusional, because he's like, oh, my master is crazy. My master, like, being Spencer, of course. It's like, I can't believe it, like, after everything, like, he wants us to make a cure. It's like, I'm gonna work on this forever. And sets the building to self-destruct. Leon then gets injected by Elpis through Grace, and so she saves him, which is freaking awesome. He comes back and he's like, oh yeah, I'm ready to fight like 50 zombies right now with a chainsaw. And then he fights Gideon, which then you find out that Gideon is a nemesis, because after you beat him on the first phase of the battle, he then turns into this giant nemesis. You beat him, and the building's falling apart, so you're basically gonna die with Grace, but you save the world though, which is cool. And as the lights go out, boom, we have some agents show up, and then they're like, Leon Kennedy? It's like, yeah, Commander Redfield sent us for you. Which you're like, wait a minute, Redfield is in this game too? No way, dude, I'm gonna lose it. But then you find out, no, he's not. He's in it, but you don't get to see him, which opens the door for more. Which, that's really what I want. I want to know, is there more? Will there be a Resident Evil 10 to finally end this all? And there could be a Resident Evil 10 by the way this ends, because you basically get saved. Leon tells Grace, like, hey, when I shot that girl, Emily, like, I didn't hit her in her vital spot, so she could still be alive. And you also save her. So it's like, dude, this is a freaking amazing ending. And then there's a little quick shot of something that happens at the very, very end, which is, there's like BCAA, a team that goes in and like retrieves the helmets of like the killed members that you did in ARC. And they're like, okay, we're gonna retrieve all this and extract all this before the wolves come. Which the wolves, it opens the door as to like, is that Redfield's team because he's kind of like a wolf? Are there actual wolves now? Like, are we gonna have zombies and werewolves? Like, who knows? But all in all, that was Requiem, and it was such an experience. Amazing game. 9 out of 10 for me. Like, it was such a beautiful experience, and to be honest with you, I have the whole entire game on stream, so it's on the YouTube. If you guys ever want to check it out, I have the whole entire game from start to finish. If you do see me fall asleep, you know, it's okay, guys, it's okay. I work way too much, and it's gonna happen. And one day, I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it to finally make YouTube like a primary thing for me. But it's not as easy as it seems. You know, there's a lot of steps to take. And before I make those major decisions, like, I really want to be ready. Because I also have to, you know, I have responsibilities, so I can't just up and out, like, quit everything and do YouTube full time. I wish, but gotta be responsible, guys. Yeah, if you like what you saw, hit like, subscribe, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. You guys play Resident Evil Requiem yet? Like, was it a good game? And also, like, I'm on Twitch, but please just check it out, guys. Just please check it out. I have the whole entire game on stream on YouTube live, and I'll see when I can make another video, hopefully soon. But we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.